Hey everyone, I'm back. I took a week off from recording because we kind of got out of sync in terms of when I was recording and when they were being released, and so got kind of backed up. So I took a week off, but I'm back. I'm recording on Thursday. I think it's June 4th, something like that. And as always, I hope you're well and safe, and so let's get started. So chair is what we need today. If you have a tennis ball, you can pause and grab that. I think that's all we're going to need. You should have your mat though, because we will probably do something that where we want to stay steady and not slip. So mat would be good too. So my chair is on my mat because that makes sure it doesn't slip. Sorry, I've got this little tickle. I think it's an allergy thing. All right, so let's settle in. And as always, if your feet are not comfortably resting on the floor, maybe stick a pillow or a block or a couple of books under your feet. It really does make a difference in terms of that sense of feeling settled and grounded. I happen to have my feet flat on the floor because I'm on a folding chair that's short enough to accommodate my short little legs. So I'm good, and I would encourage you to get yourself really well supported as well. Go ahead and let yourself relax into the support beneath you. Feel your feet firmly on the ground. Feel your hips and your lower body supported by your chair. Feel your upper body relaxing into the support of the chair back. Let your shoulders melt. Let your hands come to rest. See if there's any other part of you, excuse me, that has still not surrendered to gravity. Let your legs relax. Let your jaw be soft. Let your tongue rest lightly and loosely. And finally, bring your attention to your breath. If it's comfortable to breathe in and out through your nose, go ahead and do that. Feeling the cool air moving in and the warmed air flowing back out. And so as your body settles more and more fully into stillness, take a moment to just notice whatever sensations are present in your body, the subtle, the not so subtle, the familiar, the new. Just see what your body might be telling you as you begin your practice today. And so I thought we would begin with a return to our practice of alternate nostril breathing. And so if you remember how that's done, you can certainly begin whenever you're ready. If you'd like a little refresher course, you can open your eyes and watch. So we're using the right hand, and we're letting the first and second fingers just relax down toward your palm, and then turning the palm inward to face you. And now using that right thumb to close the right nostril, we'll inhale through the left side. And then retaining the breath as you switch, close the left side with your ring finger and exhale through the right. And then we'll stay here and inhale through the right nostril. Switch, exhale left. Inhale left. Switch, exhale right. So continuing that pattern at your own pace. So it's inhale, switch, exhale, inhale, switch, exhale. Just switch the side that's closed after the inhalations only. And so with your next exhalation, just let that hand float back down to your lap. If a big sniff feels good, go ahead and do that. And then just notice your even breath. And so with that next inhalation, feel yourself lengthening from your tailbone all the way up through the crown of your head, so you're sitting up taller, your back is moving away from the chair back, maybe even scooting forward a little bit more in your chair. So you have a really nice solid seat on your sitting bones. And then just start to let your head move side to side. And then turning and twisting and just kind of exploring whatever movement of the head feels good for your neck and shoulders and upper back. Noticing if there's any tension you might be holding, and if you find a little yummy spot where you want to hold and breathe for a few moments, you could do that. Good, and we're just going to do one more thing here. So go ahead and let your right ear just relax toward your right shoulder. No need to press forcefully or anything. Just tilt your head to the right. And let your left arm hang down at your side. And then stretch down through those fingers like you're trying to reach something you've dropped without tilting. So you're just reaching your fingers a little farther toward the floor. Just feeling that stretch from your left ear to your left fingertips. Let your jaw be nice and soft and relaxed. Bring your right hand back to your lap. Go ahead and tilt your head toward your left shoulder. And so now the right arm relaxes at your side. Just let it hang for a second, just see how that feels. And then if you'd like to go farther, you can stretch down through those fingertips. Soft jaw here. Soft eyes. And then bringing everything back to center, go ahead and open your eyes and roll those shoulders. So I apologize for any truck noises you might be hearing. My neighbor seems to be having something delivered with a big truck. It's kind of funny how, as I've been teaching at home during the last few months, every leaf blower, lawn mower, go ahead, switch, heavy duty truck delivery always seems to wait until I've started teaching. Not much we can do about it. This is the way life is. So we'll just notice and then let it go. And so from here, go ahead and take that next big inhale. Float those arms up. If it feels okay to clasp your hands and stretch through those fingers up toward the ceiling, you can do that. If it feels better to just reach or even reach with one arm instead of two, that's fine. Let's give your rib cage a little shimmy. Good, and from here, bring your arms down, around your back so your back body is moving toward that chair back, sort of like cow pose. And then on your inhale, float those arms up. Maybe even take a look up toward the ceiling, a little bit of cow pose, sort of a back bend. Good, back to that seated cat, drawing your belly toward your spine. And then up again. And come back to that sort of neutral place. Let your fingertips float down to the tops of your shoulders. And we're going to start to make those circles with the elbows. So we're starting at shoulder height here. And those circles are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So the end point of those circles getting bigger would be elbows pointing toward the ceiling and then toward the floor. But again, maybe your shoulders aren't interested in giving you quite that range of motion. So just kind of work with where you are. And then let's start again, and we're going to circle in the opposite direction. And again, with each circle, we're spiraling wider and wider and bigger. And we're really giving some nice movement to the shoulders. Letting the shoulder blades move around on the back of the rib cage. All kinds of good stuff. Good, and then we're gonna bring those elbows out to the side and then bring them in. Maybe they'll touch, maybe they won't. Take them wide and in and out and in and out. Good, and then relax the arms. So we're gonna move down a little bit. We're gonna make some circles with the spine. So I'm gonna scoot forward even a little bit more so that more of my thigh bones are not on the seat. It gives me a little more freedom of movement in the pelvis. But of course, make sure you're not too far forward. And then go the other way. It sounds like they're taking a tree down. And that's with the windows closed. All right, come back to center. And let's go ahead and cross the, let's cross the right ankle over that left thigh. And so I'm mirroring here since, we're back and forth. So I'm gonna be mirroring. So this is actually my left leg that I'm saying right. I haven't lost my marbles yet. Good. So go ahead and pick that ankle up and rock it side to side. And then go ahead and put that ankle down, sitting up nice and tall. Just let that knee relax as much as it's willing to. Doesn't matter where it is. Good, and then go ahead, let's point the toes and flex and point and flex and point and flex. Good, and circle that ankle. Good, so the leg stays steady. You could even hold on to it if you like. And the ankle is circling. And circle the other way. Oh, interesting little clicking sound in my ankle. All right, good. So now flex that foot again. Sit up nice and tall on your sitting bones, kind of feel them underneath you. And then just tilt forward just enough to feel a little extra stretch here in the right hip. And pause and breathe. And then relax that. Let's go ahead and uncross and then cross the left ankle over the right thigh. And so this foot is flexed and we're rocking. Put that ankle down, sit up nice and tall. Oops, wait, we're not doing that yet. We're pointing and flexing first. And pointing and flexing. And pointing and flexing. One more time, point and flex. Good, circle one way. And circle the other way. Good, and so now I'm keeping that left foot flexed, sitting tall and tilting. Good, so we're looking for a little extra sense of stretch in that left hip. And then release. And we're gonna bring that left foot down. And I'm gonna scoot my chair back so I can stay in the frame. You stay right where you are, no need to move at all. And we're gonna go ahead and tilt forward and stand up. Oh, you know what's coming, and now we're sitting. And we can just put our hands on our hips, and we're standing, and we're sitting, and we're standing, and we're sitting, and we're standing, and we're sitting, and we're halfway up, up, half, up, half, down, half, up, half, up, down, up, down, up, down, halfway up, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. You know you can take a break if you want. Halfway up. I can't even see you. All the way up, all the way down. Yes, I'm doing a little more than usual because I know you can take a break. And so if you want to challenge yourself, you can try to hang in there. Up, half, up, half, down, up, down, up. All right, let's stay up. So from here, we're going to either do the foot massage with the tennis ball, or I'm gonna offer you an alternative if you don't have a tennis ball. So if you have one, go ahead and grab it. And I'm gonna talk you through both versions. So let's see, I'm gonna try to play with my camera angle again here. So if you are using the tennis ball, you're gonna put it on the floor and you're gonna be rolling that ball, rolling that ball, rolling that ball, just checking in with your foot. If you don't have a tennis ball, you're gonna pick a foot, and you're going to pull your toes one way and then the other. And you're working your way down the row of toes, pulling adjacent toes in opposite directions. One forward, one back. Good. The tennis ball people are just still doing that initial check-in, pressing and rolling, just kind of seeing how your foot feels. Good. So now the seated people are going to use their thumbs to massage all over the ball of the foot, pressing, rubbing. You can twist the foot, just kind of see what feels good. Meanwhile, the tennis ball people have the ball under, I'm trying to get the ball in camera here, ball under the ball of your foot, and you're pressing down and you're keeping the heel in place as you rock side to side. So we're all accomplishing the same thing at this point. We're all giving attention to the ball of the foot, rocking side to side if you're using a tennis ball, pressing and rubbing if you're not. And everyone's getting some nice love and care for those feet. Good. So the final thing we'll do on this foot, tennis ball people, you're going to roll the ball back and you're going to put the foot down, or the toes down and the ball of the foot down, and the tennis ball you can see is just forward of your heel, and you're going to step on that ball. Tennis ball is just forward of the heel, and you're going to let as much weight sink onto that ball as feels welcome in your foot. If you're doing the seated version, same idea, you're just going to use those thumbs again and apply some pressure. Just see how much feels good to really press into that foot. Right there in that same spot the tennis ball people are working on. Just pressing in. So basically the same idea that tennis ball folks are using their body weight, and the rest of us are using the strength of our thumbs to press in there. You can kind of move around a little in that general area, see if there's any tension. Of course, you won't press any harder than your foot wants you to do. And then go ahead and we're done with that foot. So now, seated people, you are using the other foot, and remember you're pulling toes in opposite directions. So you go ahead and work your way down the row of toes that way. Tennis ball people, we are just doing a check-in and just rolling that ball, rolling that ball, rolling that ball. Just get on in there. Just exploring movement all over. Good. So now the tennis ball people are putting the heel down. The ball is under the ball of your foot, not your toes. You can see what I'm doing here. And you're going to shift forward and press down, like just kind of compress the tennis ball a bit. And you're going to keep that heel in place as the forefoot rocks side to side. Oh yeah, by the way, the seated people at this point are doing the same massage with the thumbs, just pressing into the ball of the foot. And remember, you can kind of give the foot some similar manipulation, kind of twisting side to side. Just like the tennis ball people are rolling that ball over the ball, you can kind of simulate that a little bit. Isn't it cool how mobile the foot is? Very similar to the hand. Good, so now the seated people are going to use the thumbs to get into that space right in front of the heel, kind of that sweet spot on the plantar fascia, and we're just pressing and pressing. And again, really apply some pressure if that feels good, or ease up if It doesn't feel good? Good. Meanwhile, the tennis ball people are standing with the ball just in front of that heel and letting the body weight sink in. Good. And we're all just taking some nice, easy breaths here. I've started doing at least this part of the tennis ball massage every morning, like right when my feet hit the floor. I've been putting the tennis ball here and just kind of hanging out for a few breaths. And it really makes a difference first thing in the morning. My whole body just gets some nice release from giving some movement to the foot. And we are done. So if you were using a tennis ball, make sure you put it far enough away that you're not going to trip on it. A little birdie just landed right outside my window. Cute. Alrighty, so we're going to come around to the back of the chair. And hopefully I think you can see through my chair, you can see my feet, you can see what I'm doing. And just let your hands rest lightly on the chair back. And let your feet come into mountain pose. You can shift forward and back a few times. Just get your feet nicely settled. And then go ahead and find a focal point, something straight ahead at eye level. I'm looking at the latch on my window. And we're going to lift the heels up. And maybe we're going to let go of the chair. Maybe we're not. You can always just have a very light grip on the chair. But we're just doing a little balance work as well as some strengthening for the feet and ankles. Let your shoulders stay soft. If you want to make it more challenging, you could move your arms farther away. You could even take your arms up overhead, which means the structure that you're balancing on the balls of your feet is taller, which will challenge your balance even more. So again, these are just options, perfectly fine to keep holding on. You could hold on with one fingertip and that might be plenty. Okay, we're also strengthening the calf muscles in case you didn't notice at this point. Good, heels down, go ahead, bend those knees, give the calves a little stretch. And then straighten and lift those heels again. And using your focal point. So again, I'm going to offer some options. You can just stay right here, holding or not holding. If you'd like a little extra excitement, you can just lift the heels a little higher and then halfway down, a little higher and halfway down. That's kind of activating those calf muscles a little more. I'm certainly noticing it. Maybe you are too. Just slight lifting and lowering. And of course, you're taking your break when you need one. And heels down. Bend those knees. Give those calves a nice stretch. So from here, I think I'm actually going to turn sideways for this. I'm going to make sure I turn my mat sideways too because I don't want to slide. I don't want my chair to slide. You don't need to move. You're fine where you are. But I'm just going to kind of give a side view of this. So we're going to give those calves a nice stretch. And I'm going to bring my right foot all the way up so my toes are kind of in that line between the back chair legs. And I'm going to step back with my left foot. And I'm going to make sure that I haven't stepped onto a tightrope or a balance beam. I want to be on those train tracks. We're going to bend that front knee. And the back heel, we're going to try to keep pressing it toward the floor. Mine happens to be touching the floor, but if I took a bigger stance, it probably wouldn't be. So we're going to press that back heel toward the mat or into the mat. And we're going to bend that front knee. And if it feels like you might want to bring your forearms to that chair back, you could do that. I have a really short torso, so my forearms are close to the chair back. You can just stay upright if that feels better. Good. Make sure that back heel is pointing straight back and not angled inward, because if it's angled inward, you're not going to get much of a calf stretch. And then go ahead and straighten. We're just going to switch. So we're going to bring the toes of the left foot up, kind of right between the chair legs. And the right foot is going to step back. And I have stepped out of my frame here, so no one will ever accuse me of being a professional filmmaker here. Okay, so we're bending that front knee. And if that back heel is off the mat, that's fine. Just kind of reach it toward the mat energetically. You'll feel that stretch. The more you bend the front knee and press the back heel, the better the stretch you're going to get in that back calf. So again, you can bring your forearms to the chair back if that feels better. If your low back feels pinchy here, you can kind of lengthen it by coming down a little more. It's a beautiful morning. I think it's going to be a hot one today. Come on back up and relax. Alrighty, so let's everyone bring your right hand to the back of the chair. And again, make sure your chair is, not going to slide. And we're going to bring the left knee up. The left hand is on your hip. I'm going to take that knee out and around and down. Up, circle it around and down. Up, around and down. So by now you know that we are working on that hip joint, just like we did when we did those elbow circles at the beginning of class. We were working on the shoulder joint and kind of exploring the range of motion there. And we're working on the hip joint. Good. And so the next time it comes around, we're going to take the left foot, the sole of the left foot, and put it on the inside of that right calf, maybe just below the knee. And so that left knee is pointing out to the side. And you're going to look straight ahead at eye level. See if you can press through that standing foot, that right foot. See if you can grow just a little taller. And that left arm can float up if you like. And the right hand can hold on steadily, hold on loosely, play with letting go, or possibly, maybe even come up. But again, kind of find the balance between, if you constantly are coming out of the pose, I'd rather have you holding on lightly so you can stay here a little longer and get the nice effects of this pose. You can even just the lightest fingertips on the chair might be plenty. It's amazing. Sometimes the brain just needs a little reassurance. Some days are better balance days than others too, so we always want to approach our balance practice with a sense of playfulness. And then go ahead and bring it all down. And so from here, we're going to cross the left foot in front of the right. And we're going to take that left arm up, and we're going to reach up and over. Good. And really extend through those left fingertips and press through that left heel. And breathe. Feel that nice length along the left side of the waist. And then come on back out of that. So we're going to go ahead and turn so that the left hand is on the chair back, but I'm just going to bring my chair around over here. So you do whatever works for you, so you can still be looking at the camera, or at the screen. That's what it is. For you, it's a screen. For me, it's a camera. Good. So bring that right knee up, swing it out and around. Up, out, and around. Good. I realize I'm standing a little too close to my chair. There we go. Up, out, and around. it's almost comical. I'm not sure how much you guys can hear it, but how every noisy yard implement is always pressed into service when I'm ready to record. They're actually taking a tree down next to me. So there you have it. Good, making some circles. But we're all family here, right? Good, and then go around, and then let's bring the sole of that right foot to the inside of the left calf. So those right toes are pointing down and the right knee is pointing out to the side. And that right arm can float. Remember, let the shoulder be soft. And the left hand can do whatever it needs to do to make you feel steady enough to hold the pose, but challenged enough to have a little bit of wobble in that standing foot. This side might be a completely different experience than the other side. Remember, you can bring the arm all the way up if you like, but there's no need to if it's going to make you come out of the pose repeatedly. And then relax that. And before we do anything else, we're going to cross that right foot in front of the left and plant it over there closer to the chair. And that right arm comes up and we reach up and over. If the arm can be right next to the ear, that's kind of the ideal, but certainly no big deal if it's not happening in your shoulder, no problem at all. Good, we're pressing through that right heel and extending through those right fingertips, sort of out over the seat of the chair. And we're taking some nice deep breaths to really expand the right side of the rib cage. Oh, another truck has joined the party. And then come on back up and uncross. And so from here, again, making sure your chair is really nice and stable on your mat. I'm going to scoot mine a little so I stay in the frame here. We're going to put the hands on the chair back, and we're going to step away, and we want to come into a nice L. So I realize my feet are a little farther forward than I want them to be. Good. So you want your heels right under your hips. And if this doesn't work for your shoulders to have them right up next to your ears, you can take one shoulder completely out of this if you like, or you can just sort of bend the arm until it's more comfortable. Just kind of see what works. Good. And so now bend both knees. And you know this is the part where I say stick your butt out. So reach your sitting bones behind you. Get that nice length in the spine. Remember, your knees are bent so that you can not have any interference from your hamstrings, getting that nice length in the spine. If you do want a hamstring stretch, you can straighten those knees. Probably don't want to lock them though. And then let's bend one knee and then the other. And as you can see, and as you've heard me say a million times, the heels don't leave the floor. So you can see from this angle that my hips are shifting. One side of my hip is higher and then the other side as those knees take turns bending and straightening. bend both knees a lot. Keep your hands where they are and slowly walk back toward your mat or toward your chair. Slowly come up to standing and just take a few breaths here. Just let your shoulders relax. Notice sensation in the shoulders. Couple of nice easy breaths. I'm going to see how much time I have left. Okay, so we got a perfect amount of time. So from here, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put the chair at the long side of the mat. And so actually, oops, I think I'm going to say have the chair seat facing you. That's how we usually do it. And you want to be able to take a nice wide stance. Good, we can really hear those buzzsaws now, can't we? All right, and so we're going to tilt forward. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm tilting forward from the hip crease, and I'm in a wide forward fold. So you'll see that my feet are parallel, my toes are pointing toward the long side of the mat. If that is a strain for your ankles, it often can be, you can just let those toes point out a little more, sort of let your feet turn out a little bit. So your hands are coming down to the seat of your chair probably. If that doesn't work and it feels better to have your hands on the chair back, that's fine. And then maybe, again, this is going to depend on your body, your geometry. Maybe, because again, I'm a shorty, my forearms feel comfortable coming down to the seat of the chair. And I can relax into this a little more. Now, maybe that doesn't work for you. So notice now where your weight is on your feet. See if you can shift your weight back. I'm going to move the chair a little bit here. See if you can shift your weight back to your heels a bit more. Not so much that you feel like you're going to fall over, but just enough so that your toes are free to lift and wiggle. You can let your head relax if that feels good. Good. So I have my chair off center right now. You shouldn't have, yours doesn't need to be. I just want to be able to kind of see the camera and make sure I'm demonstrating what I want to be demonstrating. And then we're just going to start bending one knee at a time. So see how this feels. If your knees don't love this or your hips don't love this, you can skip this part. But if so, if this feels okay, we're just going to shift side to side. And maybe when you come to one side, you'll pause here, feeling that stretch on the inside of the thigh. And then the other side. Good, and so side to side. Nice and easy. Good, and then as you come back to center, relaxing into that forward fold a bit more. Let your head relax if you'd like. And then go ahead and bring those feet back in. Good, slowly come up to standing. So we're going to come down for Shavasana now, and what I'd like to do is encourage you, if you want to use your chair to put your legs on. So you just kind of scoot close and lie down. If that doesn't feel good for your Shavasana, no problem, you can just move away from the chair. But if it does, go ahead and do that. I am going to go into a different room farther away from this noisy tree company. We're going to go into my closet. I wonder how messy it is. It's a little mess. There's a basket of laundry, but you guys will forgive me for that, right? Okay, so here we are. We're in my closet. And I want to have a more peaceful Shavasana for you. So go ahead and let yourself begin to settle into stillness. And let yourself melt onto your mat. Feel your eyes softening. Feel your jaw releasing. Try to get some music for you here. Feel the sides of your throat melting toward your mat. Your belly softening to receive and release each breath. Fully supported by the ground beneath you and by those around you. Even though we're at a distance, I know we are thinking of one another and wishing one another well in these difficult times. Nowhere to go. And nothing to do. slowly and gently allow your awareness to return to your breath, your body, and the space around you. Invite small movements into your fingers and toes. When you're ready, bend your knees, roll to your right side, and just rest there for a few more breaths. And then gradually make your way back up to a seated position. Leaving your eyes closed, and your focus turned inward. Checking in to notice how you're feeling at the end of your practice. And I'll leave you with this poem. This one's called No Corner is Untouched. The broad blue bowl of sky pours light into my eyes as if there is no end to its bright treasure. I receive the sun's gift gratefully, warmed and glowing to my bones, all the way down to the darkest and most hidden corners that feared they would always be forgotten. And so we'll close our practice by joining our hands together in front of our hearts in a gesture of offering and of peace. And I do thank you all so very much, as always, for sharing your practice with me and especially with one another, even when the practice ends in my closet. Thanks for rolling with the punches, guys. Namaste. Take care, you guys. And I so love hearing from you. If you haven't dropped me an email to say hi, I would love it if you do that. I will make sure that my email address is with the link to this. So hopefully you can find it and just tell me how you're doing, or even just say, hi, I'm watching, I'm doing the videos. It helps me to know you're out there. Okay, bye guys.